This is how two people are secretly becoming millionaires on TikTok by controlling your brains. There are two main people that have been able to both crack the TikTok algorithm and influence massive amounts of TikTok users to make themselves rich. They both stay relatively behind the scenes, but their products are all over TikTok. The first is a relatively new entrant to the field. It's the girl who made the shadow work journals. She has undergraduate degrees in business and psychology, and she worked at TikTok, so I have a strong feeling she knows exactly what she's doing, and she's executing it almost perfectly. The second person has made himself a millionaire from selling chocolate, and it's not Willy Wonka or Mr. Beast. It's a random University of Michigan dropout. What these two both have in common is that they're both using the same trick to influence millions of people's brains and turn them into customers. An important thing to know about people is that there are 7 main biopsychological motivations that neuroscientists and psychologists have synthesized in the past few decades of research. To memorize them, I created the acronym ADIOS. The primary motivation that these two people work on is the social motivation. One thing you should know about social influence is that groups of people are extremely powerful influencers. There's a term in psychology called de-individuation. It's when we have a reduced sense of personal identity and self-regulation when we are in large groups. And there are no larger groups than the networks that are built on social media. Something we know about de-individuated people is that they become less aware of themselves and more attuned to the group. They also become more responsive to behavioral cues from others, for good and for bad. So when in groups or when people encounter large groups, they tend to be more impulsive, irrational, and emotional. The emotions and desires of the group become contagious, and the logic used by the group tends to become contagious as well. And that's whether the logic is truly accurate or not. Both the Shadow Work Journal girl and the Sex Chocolate guy do this by working with a massive amount of influencers. By doing this, they make a massive and influential social group. So then, when social media users come across these groups, these influencers, there's a very strong force that compels them to just stop thinking, listen to the group, and join the group. And in this case, that means they join the group by purchasing the product or service that the group recommends. So what should you do with this information? If you're a general social media user, make sure you are aware of the very strong power that groups can create. And if you have a business or want to bring people to your cause, you can use the power of groups to influence large amounts of people. Just make sure you're using that power for good.